Flowers for Algernon by Daniel Keyes. From now on, Flowers for Algernon will be shortened to FFA. So, the FFA vocabulary: subconscious, despised, suspicion, deterioration, intelligence, ignorant, introspective, regression, psychology, intensification, tangible, feeble, naive, inferiority, and complex. Progress Report 1, March 5, 1965. Mr. Strauss says I should write down what I think and everything that happens to me from now on. I don't know why, but he says it's important so they will see if they will use me. I hope they use me. Miss Kenyon says maybe they can make me smart. I want to be smart. My name is Charlie Gordon. I am 37 years old and 2 weeks away from my birthday. I have nothing more to write now, so I will close for today. Progress Report 2, March 6. I had a test today. I think I failed it. And I think that maybe now they won't use me. What happened is a nice young man was in the room, and he had some white cards with ink spilled all over them. He said, "Charlie, what do you see on this card?" I was very scared, even though I had my rabbit's foot in my pocket, because when I was a kid, I always failed tests in school, and I spilled ink too. I told him I saw a ink blot. He said yes, and it made me feel good. I thought that was all, but when I got up to go, he stopped me. He said, "Now sit down, Charlie. We are not through yet." Then I don't remember so good, but he wanted me to say what was in the ink. I didn't see nothing in the ink, but he said there was pictures there. Other people saw some pictures. I couldn't see any pictures. I really tried hard to see. I held the card close up and then far away. Then I said, if I had my glasses, I could see better. I usually only wear my glasses in the movies or TV, but I said they are in the closet in the hall. I got them. Then I said, let me see that card again. I bet I'll find it now. I tried hard, but I still couldn't find the pictures. I only saw the ink. I told him, maybe I need new glasses. He wrote something down on the paper, and I got scared of failing the test. I told him it was a very nice ink blot with little points all around the edges. He looked very sad, so that wasn't it. I said, please let me try again. I'll get in a few minutes because I'm not so fast sometimes. I'm a slow reader too in Miss Kenyon's class for slow adults, but I'm trying very hard. He gave me a chance with another card that had two kinds of ink spilled on it, red and blue. He was very nice and talked slow like Miss Kenyon does, and he explained it to me that it was a raw shock. He said people see things in ink. I said, show me where. He said, think. I told him, I think a ink blot, but that wasn't right either. He said, what does it remind you? Pretend something. I closed my eyes for a long time to pretend. I told him I pretended a fountain pen with ink leaking all over a tablecloth. Then he got up and went out. I don't think I passed the raw Rorschach test. Rorschach test. A type of test used in psychoanalysis in which ink blots of different shapes and colors is presented to a person who is asked to describe what they suggest or resemble. What do you see in the ink blots above? Progress Report 3, March 7. Dr. Strauss and Dr. Niemer say it don't matter about the ink blots. I told them I didn't spill the ink on the cards and I couldn't see anything in the ink. They said that maybe they will still use me. I said Miss Kennan never gave me tests like that one, only spelling and reading. They said Miss Kennan told that I was her bestest pupil in the adult night school because I tried the hardest and I really wanted to learn. They said, how come you went to the adult night school all by yourself, Charlie? How did you find it? I said, I asked people and somebody told me where I should go to learn to read and spell good. They said, why did you want to? I told them because all my life I wanted to be smart and not dumb, but it's very hard to be smart. They said, you know, it will probably be temporary. I said, yes. Miss Kennan told me, I don't care if it hurts. Later, I had more crazy tests today. The nice lady who gave it to me told me the name and I asked her, how do you spell it? So I can write it in my progress report. Thematic apperception test. I don't know the first two words, but I know what test means. You got to pass it or you get bad marks. This test looked easy because I could see the pictures. Only this time she didn't want me to tell her the pictures. That mixed me up. I said the man yesterday said I should tell him what I saw in the ink. She said that don't make no difference. She said, make up stories about the people in the pictures. I told her, how can you tell stories about people you never met? I said, why should I make up lies? I never tell lies anymore because I always get caught. She told me this test and the other one, the Rorschach, was for getting personality. I laughed so hard. I said, how can you get that thing from ink blots? Thematic apperception test. A test designed to reveal a person's social drives or needs by their interpretation of a series of pictures of emotionally unclear or confusing situations. What do you think happened in the picture below before the image was taken? And photos. She got sore and put her pictures away. I don't care. It was silly. I guess I failed that too. Later, some men in white coats took me to a different part of the hospital and gave me a game to play. It was like a race with a white mouse. They called the mouse Algernon. Algernon was in a box with a lot of twists and turns, like all kinds of walls, and they gave me a pencil and a paper with lines and lots of boxes. On one side it said start, and on the other end it said finish. They said it was amazed, and that Algernon and me had the same amazed to do. I didn't see how we could have the same amazed if Algernon had a box and I had a paper. I didn't say nothing. Anyway, there wasn't time because the race started. One of the men had a watch he was trying to hide so I wouldn't see it, so I tried not to look, and that made me nervous. Anyway, the test made me feel worser than all the others because they did it over 10 times with different amazed, and Algernon won every time. I didn't know that mice were so smart. Maybe that's because Algernon is a white mouse. Maybe white mice are smarter than other mice. Maze, a network of paths and hedges designed as a puzzle through which one has to find a way. Or it means to be dazed and confused. Mazes come in different shapes, sizes, and formats. Some are even on paper. Progress Report 4, March 8th. They're going to use me! I'm so excited. I can hardly write. Dr. Niemer and Dr. Strauss had an argument about it first. Dr. Niemer was in the office when Dr. Strauss brought me in. Dr. Niemer was worried about using me, but Dr. Strauss told him Miss Kenyon recommended me the best from all the people who she was teaching. I like Miss Kenyon because she's a very smart teacher. And she said, Charlie, you're going to have a second chance. If you volunteer for this experiment, you might get smart. They don't know if it will be permanent, but there's a chance. That's why I said okay, even when I was scared, because she said it was an operation. She said, don't be scared, Charlie. You done so much with so little. I think you deserve it most of all. So I got scared when Dr. Niemer and Dr. Strauss argued about it. Dr. Strauss said, I had something that was very good. He said, I had a good motivation. I never even knew I had that. I felt proud when he said that not everybody with an IQ of 6 to 8 had that thing. I don't know what it is or where I got it, but he said Algernon had it too. Algernon's motivation is the cheese they put in his box. But it can't be that because I didn't eat any cheese this week. Then he told Dr. Niemer something I didn't understand. So while they were talking, I wrote down some of the words. He said, Dr. Niemer, I know Charlie is not what you had in mind as the first of your new breed of intellect. Couldn't get the word. Superman? But most people of his low mint are hosts and uncouth. They are usually dull, apath, and hard to reach. He has a good nature. He's interested and eager to please. Dr. Niemer said, remember, He will be the first human being ever to have his intelligence tripled by surgical means. Dr. Strauss said exactly. Look at how well he's learned to read and write for his low mental age. It's as great an achievement as you and I learning Einstein's theory of relativity without help. That shows the intense motivation. It's comparative men achieve. I say we use Charlie. I didn't get all the words. And they were talking too fast, but it sounded like Dr. Strauss was on my side and like the other one wasn't. Then Dr. Niemer nodded. He said, all right, maybe you're right. We will use Charlie. When he said that, I got so excited, I jumped up and shook his hand for being so good to me. I told him, thank you, Doc. You won't be sorry for giving me a second chance. And I mean it like I told him. After the operation, I'm going to try to be smart. I'm going to try awfully hard. I'm scared. Lots of people who work here and the nurses and the people who gave me the test came to bring me candy and wish me luck. I hope I have luck. I got my rabbit's foot and my lucky penny and my horseshoe. Only a black cat crossed me when I was coming to the hospital. Dr. Strauss says, don't be superstitious, Charlie. This is science. Anyway, I'm keeping my rabbit's foot with me. I asked Dr. Strauss if I'll beat Algernon in the race after the operation, and he said maybe. If the operation works, I'll show that mouse I can be as smart as he is, maybe smarter. Then I'll be able to read better and spell the words good and know lots of things and be like other people. I want to be smart like other people. If it works permanent, it will make everybody smart all over the world. They didn't give me anything to eat this morning. I don't know what that eating has to do with getting smart. I'm very hungry. And Dr. Niemer took away my box of candy. That Dr. Niemer is a grouch. Dr. Strauss says I can have it back after the operation. You can't eat before an operation. Progress Report 6, March 15. The operation didn't hurt. He did it while I was sleeping. They took off the bandages from my eyes and my head today so I can make a progress report. Dr. Niemer, who looked at some of my other ones, says I spell progress wrong, and he told me how to spell it and report too. I got to try and remember that. I have a very bad memory for spelling. Dr. Strauss says it's okay to tell about all the things that happened to me, but he says I should tell more about what I feel and what I think. When I told him I don't know how to think, he said try. All the time when the bandages were on my eyes, I tried to think. Nothing happened. I don't know what to think about. Maybe if I ask him, he will tell me how I can think now that I'm supposed to get smart. What do smart people think about? Fancy things, I suppose. I wish I knew some fancy things already. Progress Report 7, March 19. Nothing is happening. I had lots of tests and different kinds of races with Algernon. I hate that mouse. He always beats me. Dr. Strauss said I got to play those games. And he said sometime I got to take those tests over again. These ink blots are stupid. And those pictures are stupid too. I like to draw a picture of a man and a woman, but I won't make up lies about people. I got a headache from trying to think so much. I thought Dr. Strauss was my friend, but he don't help me. He don't tell me what to think or when I'll get smart. Miss Kennan didn't come to see me. I think writing these progress reports are stupid too. Progress report 8, March 23. I'm going back to work at the factory. They said it was better I should go back to work, but I can't tell anyone what the operation was for, and I have to come to the hospital for an hour every night after work. They're going to pay me money every month for learning to be smart. I'm glad I'm going back to work because I miss my job and all my friends and all the fun we have there. Dr. Strauss says I should keep writing things down, but I don't have to do it every day. Just when I think of something or something special happens. He says, don't get discouraged because it takes time and it happens slow. He says, it took a long time with Algernon before he got 3 times smarter than he was before. That's why Algernon beats me all the time because he had that operation too. That makes me feel better. I could probably do that amazed faster than a regular mouse. Maybe someday I'll beat Algernon. Boy, that would be something. So far, Algernon looks like he might be smart permanent. March 25. I don't have to write progress report on top anymore. Just when I hand it in once a week for Dr. Niemer to read. I just have to put the date on. That saves time. We had a lot of fun at the factory today. Joe Carp said, hey, look, where Charlie had his operation. What did they do, Charlie? Put some brains in? I was going to tell him, but I remember Dr. Strauss said no. Then Frank Riley said, what did you do, Charlie? Forget your key and open your door the hard way? That made me laugh. They're really my friends, and they like me. Sometimes somebody will say, hey, look at Joe or Frank or George. He really pulled a Charlie Gordon. I don't know why they say that, but they always laugh. This morning, Amos Borg, who is the foreman at Donegan's, used my name when he shouted at Ernie, the office boy. Ernie lost a package. He said, Ernie, for God's sake, what are you trying to be? A Charlie Gordon? I don't understand why he said that. I never lost any packages. March 28th. Dr. Strauss came to my room tonight to see why I didn't come in like I was supposed to. I told him I don't like to race with Algernon anymore. He said, I don't have to for a while, but I should come in. He had a present for me, only it wasn't a present, but just for Lynn. I thought it was a little television, but it wasn't. He said, I got to turn it on when I go to sleep. I said, you're kidding. Why? Should I turn it on when I'm going to sleep? Whoever heard of a thing like that? But he said, if I wanted to get smart, I got to do what he says. I told him I didn't think I was going to get smart. And he put his hand on my shoulder and said, Charlie, you don't know it yet, but you're getting smarter all the time. You won't notice for a while. I think he was just being nice to make me feel good because I don't look any smarter. Oh, yes, I almost forgot. I asked him when I can go back to the class at Miss Kennan's school. He said I won't go there. He said that soon Miss Kennan will come to the hospital to start and teach me special. I was mad at her for not coming to see me when I got the operation. I don't like her, so maybe we will be friends again. March 29th. That crazy TV kept me up all night. How can I sleep with something yelling crazy things all night in my ears? And the nutty pictures, wow. I don't know what it says when I'm up, so how am I going to know when I'm asleep? Dr. Strauss says it's okay. He says my brains are learning when I'm asleep, and that will help me when Miss Kenyon starts my lessons in the hospital. Only I found out it isn't a hospital, it's a laboratory. I think it's all crazy. If you can get smart when you're sleeping, why do people go to school? That thing, I don't think it will work. I used to watch The Late Show and The Late Late Show on TV all the time, and it never made me smart. Maybe you have to sleep while you watch it. Progress Report 9, April 3. Dr. Strauss showed me how to keep the TV turned low so now I can sleep. I don't hear a thing, and I still don't understand what it says. A few times I play it over in the morning to find out what I learned when I was sleeping. And I don't think so. Miss Kenyon says maybe it's another language or something. But most times it sounds American. It talks so fast, faster than even Miss Gold, who was my teacher in sixth grade. And I remember she talked so fast I couldn't understand her. I told Dr. Strauss, what good is it to get smart in my sleep? I want to be smart when I'm awake. He says it's the same thing, and I have two minds. There's the subconscious and the conscious. That's how you spell it. And one don't tell the other one what it's doing. They don't even talk to each other. That's why I dream. And boy, have I been having crazy dreams. Wow. Ever since that night TV, the late, 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 late show. I forgot to ask him if it was only me or if everybody had those two minds. I just looked up the word in the dictionary Dr. Strauss gave me. The word is subconscious, adjective, of the nature of mental operations, yet not present in consciousness, as subconscious conflict of desires. There's more, but I still don't know what that means. This isn't a very good dictionary for dumb people like me. Anyway, the headache is from the party. My friends from the factory, Joe Carp and Frank Riley, invited me to go with them to Muggsy's Saloon for some drinks. I don't like to drink, but they said we will have lots of fun. I had a good time. Joe Carp said I should show the girls how I mop out the toilet in the factory, and he got me a mop. I showed them, and everyone laughed when I told that Mr. Donegan said I was the best janitor he had ever had because I like my job and do it good and never come late or miss a day except for my operation. I said, Miss Kenyon always says, Charlie, be proud of your good job, of your job, because you do it good. Subconscious, of or concerning the part of the mind of which one is not fully aware, but which influences one's actions and feelings. It has been compared to an iceberg. 90% of our mind is subconscious. Our beliefs, emotions, habits, values, protective reactions, long-term memory, imagination, and intuition. Only 10% is conscious. Willpower, long-term memory, logical thinking, critical thinking. What's underneath your water? Everybody laughed, and we had a good time. And they gave me lots of drinks. And Joe said Charlie is a card when he's potted. I don't know what that means, but everybody likes me and we have fun. I can't wait to be smart like my best friends Joe Carp and Frank Riley. I don't remember how the party was over, but I think I went out to buy a newspaper and coffee for Joe and Frank. And when I came back, there was no one there. I looked for them all over. Too late. Then I don't remember so good, but I think I got sleepy or sick. A nice cop brought me back home. That's what my landlady, Mrs. Flynn, says. But I got a headache and a big lump on my head and black and blue all over. I think maybe I fell. But Joe Carp says it was the cop that beat us drunks up sometimes. I don't think so. Miss Kenyon says cops are to help people. Anyway, I got a bad headache and I'm sick and hurt all over. I don't think I'll drink anymore. April 6th. I beat Algernon! I didn't even know I beat him until Bert the tester told me. Then the second time I lost because I got so excited. I fell off the chair before I finished. But after that, I beat him 8 more times. I must be getting smart to beat a smart mouse like Algernon. But I don't feel smarter. I wanted to race Algernon some more. But Bert said, that's enough for one day. They let me hold him for a minute. He's not so bad. He's soft like a ball of cotton. He blinks, and when he opens his eyes, the black and pink on the edges. I said I can feed him because I felt bad to beat him. And I wanted to be nice and make friends. Bert said, no. Algernon is a very special mouse with an operation like mine, and he was the first of all animals to stay smart so long. He told me Algernon is so smart that every day he has to solve a test to get his food. It's a thing like a lock on a door that changes every time Algernon goes in to eat, so he has to learn something new to get his food. That made me sad because if he couldn't learn, he wouldn't be hungry. I don't think it's right to make you pass a test to eat. How would Dr. Niemer like to have to pass a test every time he wants to eat? I think I'll be friends with Algernon. End of part 1. Flowers for Algernon.